Hello everyone, welcome to chemistry class. This is the part 3 of the chapter number 6, chemical reactions. Till the previous video we had started covering the types of reactions and we'll continue the same. The topic here is displacement reaction. And as the name suggests, displacement. So in this reaction what is happening? One element displaces another from its compound and takes its place therein. That is, a particular element will take the position or it will occupy the place of another element in a given compound. So this is called as displacement reaction. When we are studying this displacement reaction, we need to study the activity series. This is based upon the ability of a particular metal atom to react with other elements. So activity series consists of different metals along with hydrogen, which are arranged in the order of their activity. The higher the element placed in the series, the more active it is. So here it is the activity series. You can see here in the book. You have to understand the displacement reaction. So potassium is most reactive. The topmost one is most reactive, and as we fall down, what will happen? As we move downwards in this particular activity series from top to bottom, the reactivity will decrease. So potassium is more reactive, followed by sodium. Sodium will be reactive but less reactive than potassium. Then again calcium, slightly reactivity will fall down. Then magnesium, aluminium, zinc, then iron, then tin, then lead. Here we have hydrogen, then copper, mercury, silver, and the gold. So gold is given at the bottom. Silver and gold are present at the bottom. These are the least reactive one. Minimum reaction ability is there in these metal. The topmost one, sodium, potassium, they are the most reactive one. Maximum reactivity is there of these metal. So the metal which is more reactive, which is above in this activity series, it can easily displace another metal which is below this in the activity series. So we will understand this here with an example. Like sodium is more active than magnesium and magnesium is more active than iron. So is based on this activity we can say that sodium is more reactive than iron. So if you take any iron object and react with sodium metal, then with the sodium salt or sodium compound, then easily sodium will displace iron from its own position. So that is what is called as displacement reaction. You will now understand the examples or some of the reactions based on this type of reaction. The displacement of hydrogen from water by the metal. Whenever you put any metal in water, what will happen? The reaction between the metal and hydrogen will take place. That is, hydrogen will be displaced by the metal atom. So here you can see an active metal like potassium, sodium, calcium. All these react with water in cold condition. Even in the cold water, if you put this metal, they will react and they will do what? Displacement reaction only. Here you will understand here. The particular reaction is 2 plus 2K plus 2H2O gives 2KOH plus H2. How this reaction has happened here? So for this, potassium is more reactive. It will approach towards hydrogen and remove one hydrogen from here. H2O. What is H2O? First of all, you understand this. H2O is made up of one H plus ion followed by OH minus ion. H2O is divided into two parts, H and OH. So this HOH is reacted with what? It is reacted with 2 potassium. Potassium atom will move and remove this hydrogen from here. Now what is remaining is, you can see K and OH. That is what you can see in the final product. KOH is obtained. So potassium has removed hydrogen or displaced hydrogen from its position. So hydrogen will be thrown outside from this particular compound, that is water, and hydrogen gas is coming outside. H2 is produced separately. That also you can see in the product here. So that this is how this reaction is happened. Potassium occupies the place of hydrogen. It removes one hydrogen atom from here. This hydrogen is coming here in the form of gas. Remaining thing, what is remaining is KOH remains. That is the compound that is forming here. Same way, sodium moves toward hydrogen and displaces it. Hydrogen gas will produce. Remaining thing will be NaOH. Calcium also same thing. Calcium is more reactive than hydrogen. It displaces hydrogen and again hydrogen gas will produce. Remaining thing will be calcium hydroxide, CaOH whole twice. Similarly, magnesium, which is less reactive than this metal, you can see magnesium is here at the fourth position. Sodium, potassium and calcium, all these we have seen, or the reaction we have seen. Now we will look about the magnesium. So when we take a burning magnesium ribbon, it will continue to burn, and what will produce? Magnesium hydroxide. A burning magnesium ribbon, whenever you are putting in steam, this time cold water reaction will not take place. In cold water it does not react, it needs some heat energy to react. So here we will not use cold water, we will use steam, that is boiling water. So that is again same concept. Magnesium replaces one hydrogen. Here you can see hydrogen is produced. Remaining thing is what? MgO will produce. For more details again I repeat this. H2O is made up of H and OH. Magnesium will remove H only. So now easily you can understand there. Hydrogen will remove from there. Only oxygen will be left behind. That is MgO, magnesium oxide will form in this reaction. Next, now in the reaction, here you can see this diagram is there. They have taken magnesium ribbon, a ribbon that is burning in the steam. Steam is coming from where? Steam is coming from this boiling water. It is moving upward. Steam is moving and contacting this ribbon. So that is why you can say magnesium ribbon. When it is burning in steam, what will produce there? It will produce magnesium oxide, and hydrogen gas also is produced in this reaction. Next, now what about the less reactive metals after the metal? Is zinc, aluminium, iron, all these are there. So all these metals after the magnesium only, zinc, iron, etc., they will also displace hydrogen, because zinc and iron are also above hydrogen in the activity series. Here you can see hydrogen is here. So aluminium, zinc, this is iron, then tin, then lead. All these metals are also given here. So all these metals also will displace hydrogen from their place. But here we need to do what? In these metals we need to heat the particular reaction. But where the reaction is going on, that we have to heat it. So here you can see the less active metals like magnesium, zinc, iron, they displace hydrogen with using what? Using HCl acid or sulfuric acid. If you are using any acid, their acid contains hydrogen. Here you can see zinc will go and remove H from HCl. HCl is hydrochloric acid. So zinc has removed that hydrogen. What is remaining now? You can see remaining part is Zn, and here 2 chlorine are there. Zn and 2 chlorine will form ZnCl2. And the hydrogen which was removed, it is coming in the form of a gas, that is H2 gas is written there. So this is how we have seen that zinc being more reactive than hydrogen. This reaction has taken place in the form of displacement reaction. Here again iron and sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid contains hydrogen, you can see here. So hydrogen is present there. That is why what we can understand from this, that iron will move towards this hydrogen and remove this. What is remaining now? Remaining thing is iron, and here SO4 sulfate. So it will form iron sulfate, and hydrogen gas separately it is evolved in the form of a gas. Next reaction also displacement of copper from copper sulfate by iron. If we take a mixture, a solution of copper sulfate, this blue color solution that you are seeing in this photograph, it is what? It is copper sulfate, and they have taken iron nail here. Iron is a metal, iron nail. So this metal iron is more reactive. Iron is more reactive than copper. So iron will move toward copper and remove it from its place. When iron is displacing this copper, what will produce now? Fe and SO4 will join together. What will produce? Iron sulfate will produce. In place of copper sulfate, we will get iron sulfate. Copper sulfate color is what? Copper sulfate color is blue in color. It is which color? That is blue color. But in the case of the iron sulfate, what is the color? In the case of iron sulfate, it is green in color. That you can see in the photograph. 2 test tubes are there. These are not 2 test tubes, same test tube only. So when this iron metal has reacted, you can see this iron nail here, and here you see it has dissolved there. It has started reacting there. So iron metal has converted into this. You can see a red color metal here. So this is not iron, this is now copper. Iron metal, or the nail was made up of iron metal, that has converted into copper nail now. Whereas the iron gone, iron has moved into the solution. Earlier the solution was copper sulfate, that is it was CuSO4. Now what is it? Now in this green color is there. This is which solution? This is FeSO4, ferrous sulfate. So that is why we can say it is displacement reaction. Iron is displacing copper from its position, because iron is more reactive, copper is less reactive. Here you can see the reaction that is given here. iron move toward copper and displace it. What we are getting is iron sulfate, that is green in color. So the blue color solution is changing into the green color solution because of the displacement reaction. Blue color was copper sulfate, that has changed into green color solution called as iron sulfate. Also the nail that was made of iron, now it will be made up of copper. Copper is brown red in color, that you can see in the graph. Also this is brown red color copper. So now I hope it is clear to you. Same way, like iron is displacing copper here, same way one more reaction we will see, that zinc is more reactive than copper. So if we take zinc in place of iron, like we have taken iron nail, you can see the photograph. If we take zinc metal and put in copper sulfate, then zinc will also displace copper from the copper sulfate, and the solution, whatever product will come, that will be colorless. Colorless means it will look like water only. So you can use a piece of granulated zinc in place of iron, and it will be coated by copper. So here you can see zinc will move toward copper sulfate. Zinc is more reactive than copper, so zinc will occupy the position of copper and displace it. Copper will move outside separately. What will produce? Zinc sulfate will form, that is totally colorless. So the blue color solution will change into colorless solution, because earlier blue colored what was there? Copper sulfate was there. It has changed into what? Copper sulfate has changed into zinc sulfate. So I hope it is clear to you all the displacement reactions we have seen. Now the fourth and the last type of the reaction is a double displacement reaction. In displacement reaction, only one radical is exchanging, only one metal atom is exchanging another metal atom. In this, double thing is happening, double displacement reaction. That is the positive radical which are having positive valency, and the negative radical which are having negative valency. Both of these are exchanged. Positive as well as the negative radicals are exchanged. As a result of this exchange, what will happen? There will be the formation of a precipitation of a product will be there. A thick insoluble solid will deposit in the test tube when this reaction is performed. That solid will be a precipitate. So these reactions are very fast, and the precipitate is formed as soon as the reactants come in contact. Very quickly the reaction will happen. These reactions are very fast, and quite often the color of the precipitate is different that of the reactants. Let us see the examples of this reaction. The reaction we are going to learn in the double displacement is between silver nitrate. It is called as AgNO3. Ag stands for silver, NO3 stands for nitrate. Next is sodium chloride. Sodium means Na, chloride is Cl. So when both of these NaCl and AgNO3 are reacting with each other, what will happen now? The metals, which are the metals here? Two metals are there. One is silver metal, another one is sodium metal. Now, based on the activity series you have seen in the previous discussion of the displacement reaction, sodium is what? Sodium is most reactive, one of the most reactive metal. Silver is what? Silver is one of the least reactive metal. So the one which is more reactive, which is more stronger, what it will do? It will move and displace it. Sodium will move and remove silver from its position. That means the place where silver was there, silver was with NO3. AgNO3 is written. So in place of this AgNO3, what will produce? NaNO3 will produce. Sodium will leave its chlorine. Sodium is with chlorine, silver is with NO3. So sodium will leave its chlorine and move towards AgNO3 and remove Ag, so that is silver, from its position and form a new product, that is NaNO3. Let us see in this reaction here. Silver and sodium two are there. Sodium has contacted this thing and it has been displaced. So final product, what is formed there? NaNO3. That is sodium nitrate, and color you can notice in the bracket downside it is written, that is colorless. Colorless solution will form there. Next thing, what has happened? Sodium has occupied this position. Okay, so no problem. It has formed. Where the silver will go? Silver will go to the position of sodium now. Silver will not be produced separately. Silver will say, okay, you take my position. So to sodium. Sodium will take the position. Silver will go back from where the sodium is coming. And silver will combine with chlorine now. So what is produced here? This you can see. AgCl, that is silver chloride is produced here, and it is white colored precipitate. You can see here in the bracket after AgCl, what is written here is S. That means solid. and solid state means it is a precipitate. PPT in short, if we write, it means precipitate. So a solid precipitate will form, which will be white in color. White precipitate of sodium chloride is produced. How it is looking like, you can see in this test tube. This is AgCl that is forming silver chloride. It is white colored precipitate. Downside colorless solution is there. It is looking like water, but it is not water. It is NaNO3 that is produced downside. It is colorless, no color is there. Sodium chloride is what? White color solid, that is white PPT, white precipitate is produced. So I hope it is clear to you what is double displacement reaction. Exchange of the positive and negative radicals. Two positive ones are Ag plus and Na plus. These are positive radical, both have +1 valency. Two negative radicals are NO3 minus and Cl minus, both are having valency -1. So exchange of positive radical with negative. Na was with Cl, but this Na has left this chlorine and moved towards another radical, that is NO3. Similarly, silver moves towards chlorine. So that is exchanging of the positive and negative radicals among each other. That is double displacement reaction. Similar reaction, another example now, double displacement reactions we are studying. Second example, the barium chloride reaction with sodium sulfate. Barium is Ba. Ba is the symbol of barium. Cl is for chlorine, that is chloride. So barium chloride, BaCl. Then sodium sulfate. Sodium is Na, sulfate is SO4. Now sulfate valency is 2, so we will write Na2SO4. So BaCl plus Na2SO4, what will happen? Again the reaction between two metals will take place. What are the metals? Sodium metal and barium is another metal. Sodium is more reactive, so it will take the position of barium and combine with Cl. Sodium. Let us understand in this manner, sodium and barium is with chlorine, so BaCl and NaSO4. So this is how it is looking like. Now Na will combine with chlorine, Ba will combine with SO4. So what will produce? NaCl will produce, and second thing, BaSO4 will produce. So this you can see in this reaction now here. BaCl2 plus Na2SO4 gives BaSO4 plus 2NaCl. How it has happened? Simple exchange of radical only. Sodium moves to Ba and remove it, displaces it. So it will combine with Cl2. You can see here NaCl is produced there. Similarly, this barium, when it is removed by this sodium, it will move toward the position of sodium. And here it will take the position of sodium, and what will produce? You can see here barium sulfate will produce. Again in this bracket you can see S is written, that is it is solid precipitate which is white in color. Remaining thing you can see here another bracket AQ, that is aqueous. Aqueous means looking a solution in water only. So it is, that is why colorless. Aqueous is a liquid form only. So that is how you can see white precipitate will form. Similarly, like this only it will look only. BaCl2 will look thick precipitate, barium chloride, not chloride, barium sulfate, that is BaSO4 will form. And second thing that is being produced here, that is colorless in this reaction, that is NaCl, sodium chloride will produce like a colorless solution looking like water. In this double displacement reaction, only one special type of reaction is given, that is neutralization reaction. Here what is happening? An acid reacts with a base, forming a salt and water. Always remember this thing. This is the word equation for neutralization reaction. Acid and base are opposite in their properties, but when they both react with each other, they will balance each other and a solid product will form, that is a salt will produce, which is dissolved in water. So acid plus base is salt plus water. This is called as neutralization reaction. What is happening in this case? As I told, acid and base both are opposite, both have different properties, but when both are reacted with each other, what will happen? Acid as well as base will lose their property. Now, neither property of acid will be shown nor the properties of base will be shown. Both the properties of acid and base will be neutralized, they will be cancelled. That is why this reaction is given the name as neutralization reaction, because acid and base are neutralizing each other. So that is what is written here also. Acid as well as base lose their properties to form salt and water, which are neither acidic nor basic. This salt that is coming here, it is neither acidic nor basic. It is totally what? It is totally neutral. No acid property, no base property. Because a neutral salt is produced, that is why only the reaction is called as neutralization reaction. Let us see these examples here. All these are acids here, HCl, H2SO4, all these are acids. And when they are reacted with base, bases are what? Bases are hydroxide. Any compound, if it contains OH and in the last, that is hydroxide. Or other option is there, oxide. If only O is written in the last, then also it is a base, oxide or hydroxide. These are bases. So here you can see what is happening. This is also double displacement only. Here you can see again sodium metal will remove hydrogen from its position, and what will form? NaCl will produce. Here you can see NaCl is the salt. Remaining thing is what? Remaining thing is that is coming here. H is remaining. So the H which is removed from here, it will move towards OH, and we will get water. HOH gives H2O. Same thing here, potassium more reactive than hydrogen. So hydrogen is removed there, K2SO4, remaining thing water. Here again sodium more reactive than hydrogen, hydrogen is removed, Na2SO4 will form, hydrogen will go with HOH, will go towards hydroxide, water will produce on the other side. Last two are remaining, calcium displaces hydrogen, calcium will combine with Cl, Cl2 will form, second thing is water. Aluminium again still more reactive than hydrogen, aluminium will remove hydrogen, combine with Cl, it will give AlCl3, aluminium chloride. It will also produce water in the second product here as a second product. So these are all different examples of neutralization reaction. We've been given one activity based on this neutralization only to identify the acid and base. So we have to take 5 ml of dilute sodium hydroxide, NaOH we have to take in a conical flask. Okay, we will take conical flask. You can take a conical flask and put NaOH in that. Then what we have to do? Let us read here. Dilute with a test tube of water. Okay, so in this NaOH we have in that, we have added what? We have added water also. Swirl the flask with mixing. Okay, we will mix it properly. Add a drop of phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein is what? Phenolphthalein is an indicator. Phenolphthalein is a acid base indicator. It will turn red in the basic solution. Underline this thing in the book, you have to learn this thing. Phenolphthalein is the acid base indicator. It will tell whether the liquid is acid or base. If the liquid is acid, in which we have put phenolphthalein, again I repeat, you take some liquid and you have to identify that this liquid is acid or base. So how we will identify? We will put few drops, 1 or 2 drops only of phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein indicator will turn into red color if the solution is basic, and it will remain colorless. What will happen? Red in the basic solution, and it will remain colorless if the solution is neutral or acidic. Here we can write for your more clarity. Phenolphthalein is red when the solution is basic. Phenolphthalein will remain colorless. It will not change any color. Phenolphthalein is colorless only. It is looking like water only. It will not change its color if the solution is acidic or if it is neutral. So what we are able to identify by the phenolphthalein is that substance is acidic or basic. If no change is there, then it is acid. If any change to red color is there, it is basic. So what we have to do, what we have taken earlier, sodium hydroxide we have taken, and we have added some water. Sodium hydroxide and water are there, and phenolphthalein is there. What will happen? The content of the flask will turn into pink color. Next, add dilute hydrochloric acid also. So when we are adding dilute hydrochloric acid, what will happen? With the help of when this hydrochloric acid is added with the help of a dropper, we have to keep swirling and keep on adding the acid till this pink color is vanishing. When this pink color has totally vanished, we will identify the solution or the container which has this solution. This full solution has converted into neutral solution. Now we have balanced the acid with the base. Earlier we have taken what? We have taken a base in this container. Earlier only a basic substance, NaOH, hydroxide is written. NaOH is a hydroxide. So that is a basic solution, and we have to balance this with an acid or neutralize it with an acid. So what we have taken? Another acid. How we will identify that both acid and base have neutralized each other? We will identify it when the phenolphthalein will turn from pink into colorless. When it changes from pink into colorless solution, then only we will identify yes, the container is having a neutral solution. This is a small activity to demonstrate the neutralization reaction. I hope it is clear to you. Still any doubts you can ask in the comment section now. We will have one more video for this chapter, that is oxides and nature and their nature. We will be discussing in the upcoming video. That is all for this video right now. Thank you.